What's up, everybody? Nigel Marcellus here, and welcome to another episode of the CONVO. This is just a space for authentic conversations about life's journey, what we got going on, what we're dealing with, everything in between. Today, we got a legend in the building, a content creator who goes by the name of Haley J. What's up, Haley?
Yes, sir. Welcome, guys. I'm not welcome. What's up? It's your girl, Haley J. Like you said, I'm a content creator. I'm also a pre-med student and just a Black girl with big dreams. So
Yeah, and we in the legendary HJ studio. Like, she allowed us to come in here to film and record. This place is crazy. Y'all see the aesthetics? Haley, like. So Haley, I got a question for you. So what has been your journey with content creating? Like, has it been very difficult, easy? Like, what's up?
So far, I'm trying to have a different mindset about it because at first I would say difficult. I'm trying to be more open-minded and easygoing with my progress because everyone has a different journey for success. So I would say it's okay. I receive a lot of love. Sometimes it doesn't go as well, but it also doesn't mean my content isn't good. It just doesn't mean it hasn't reached my target audience or the right audience yet. So I think it's in the middle.
Okay. So like
my content is it's fine.
It's fire.
So.
No, it's fire. It's fire. It's
you.
undeniably fire.
Thank you.
I think, like, how do you kind of measure success? Because I think that's something that a lot of people, struggle with. And I think that's something, even for myself, like, I'm realizing I'm trying to learn how I define success for myself.
Yeah.
Because, like, some days I feel like I come up with heat and it just...
It'd be a flop.
Yeah, it just don't do what it's supposed to do. So how do you, like, measure success for yourself?
So at first when I started out, and I'm sure and not even content creation, it could just be whatever field you're in. Of course, you measure it off of just metrics. So numbers was a big thing for me. So views, likes, comments. Mm-hmm. And if I wasn't getting that, then I felt like I wasn't successful. But now I'm still work in progress, but I'm trying to just look at the quality that I'm putting out and know that one day it will again reach my target audience and know that if I feel good about it, then I'm as successful as I will ever be. And of course, I'm still improving, but if I know what I put out is what I wanted and intended, like sound, editing, the clips I got, the quality, then like I'm all good. So
okay,
still work in progress though. Don't get me wrong, because I still be like, dang, that was a flop, but you know, it's alright.
No, that's dope. I think like for me too, it's like I don't know. I'm trying to like redefine all of it.
So what about you? Because you content creating too.
So all right. So initially, to me, it was definitely like how many people like interact with it, the engagement. But I think now I'm at a place where I read this post and it was talking about how like social media has like changed how we view like. How we measure our success when it comes to stuff.
Right.
And it basically was saying like, if you get 50 likes, you're probably gonna be mad because you're gonna be like, damn, like I really wanted to get 100.
But if it's 50 people in front of you.
50 people come up to you and they're like, yo, it's fire. Then it's like, oh man.
So, or like if it was like an art exhibit and like I get 200 people that walk by it, which is like views in a sense. Like 200 people came by my whatever and they saw it.
Looked at
That's cool. So
I think like that's what more so like the mentality I'm trying to have is just really like appreciate the people who like mess with it, rock with it, and like it. And I think there's a part of me that still wants like the massive views and the massive engagement and all that. But at the same time, I'm trying to learn how to like just really be present to where I'm at, because I think this is a space that a lot of people, from like artists to a lot of like creatives, this is the times where they reflect and they be like, man, I wish I like appreciated that a lot more, because like the more you get, the more that comes with that. So I think for me, I'm really trying to like humble myself and like relax and be like, yo, just enjoy. Chill, enjoy where you're at. But I'm still good days and bad days.
Yeah. And then I also was reading something one day. It was like, if you're always looking for the next step, you're never enjoying, like you said, being in the present moment. Mm-hmm. And then you look back and even regardless of content creation, whatever it was, like if you're always like, dang, I wish for this to happen or can't wait for this to happen. Then you look back and you're like, dang, I didn't get a chance to enjoy the good parts of that time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to look so far ahead of like, ooh, I can't wait till I go viral. Like, just appreciate where I'm at right now. Because then also with going viral, that's a little bit of a toss up too. Because this one person was saying like, once you go viral, you're kind of stuck in that niche or whatever that people found you at. So then when you venture out, the algorithm or the people or the engagement won't necessarily be there, or they won't even be there for who you are as a person rather than what you created in that one moment. So like you said, finding a good engaging audience is something that's like my number one goal for content creation this year. And so finding people who really, mess with me and whatever I do, and they just, enjoy the ride. Cause I have my few faves, and I'm sure everyone has like their few faves. that whatever they do, whatever they create, I'm always gonna like it. And so I hope to gain that audience one day.
Yeah. So how did you even get into like wanting to create content? Because you're pre-med. So like how did you go from like, oh, this pre-med space all the way to this like, oh yeah, I want to create content?
So I don't know about y'all, but I used to be on YouTube a lot, like Life is Ava. And there was this one other, she was a white girl, but she made YouTube videos, and it was just like, what's in my school bag and getting ready for school, like just stuff like that. And it was always just so cool to me. So I would stay on YouTube all the time. And then that just kind of continued on into high school. And it was this one girl, her name is Breland Hunt or whatever, but she was a pre-med college vlogger. And so that's really where it kind of got, that's kind of how I got my creation or my inspiration. And I was okay, if she can do it, I can do it, because she also went to Spelman, so it was HBCU, but I knew I was going to UK, which was a PWI, and you know, I'm on YouTube searching, I'm like, okay, there's no one who's a black girl at a PWI who's pre-med, that would be a space that I can take up.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where I kind of had the inspiration. YouTube was always first. I never had the money to get a good camera, or I didn't have enough space on my phone, so I just never did it. And I wish I would have done it, because dang, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I missed out on that little part in life. But so that's where I got started. And then TikTok came, and it was a little bit better because you can also film on the app on your phone. And it, of course, it's quick clips. So 10 seconds not going to take up that much space unless you ain't got no space at all on your phone. So that's where TikTok came. And then later on, once I, you know, got a real job, got enough money, I got my camera.
Big money.
I got my camera. So, you know, we in the YouTube space now. So now I feel like I can really create the videos that I wanted to create back in high school. So
yeah, for sure.
That's where it kind of...
Can you speak a little bit more on like that, kind of like starting where you're at? Because I think that's something where a lot of people struggle with, is just the idea of like, I don't have the best quality. I don't have all the stuff. So then like you talk yourself out of doing that, when it's like, that actually could have been
the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel, and I hate to have regrets, because I feel like I shouldn't regret any choice that I made in life, because I don't know. And I even think back like, okay, if I had done YouTube back then and I started, would I have even been as consistent as I would have wanted to be? Because if you pre-med, you know, you got a lot of work to do, or just being in college, you got a lot of work to do. So I don't even know if the videos I would have created back then would have even been what I would have wanted to put out to people. So starting where I'm at now, I'm actually happy, because I mean, I'm in a new apartment. I'm not in a small dorm, bad lighting. I got more money, so I can buy better equipment. So the stuff, it all works out in a sense. So, I mean, if you want to start where you at, I would say just do it and go for it, because even when you look back on the stuff you create on like TikTok, YouTube, whatever, it's also memories, visual memories that you have. So I say do it if you can, do it if you know, like whatever you're gonna put out, you're gonna be happy with it. So I don't think I would have been happy with me creating little vlogs freshman year. Like I don't even know if that would have even been a thing. So yeah, just start where you at, and if you're happy with it, do it. So, yeah. What about you?
So, man, look, listen. Yeah, I've talked myself out of like creating all the time, and I think like even now,
even beyond content, just doing, I don't know.
Yeah,
you're a whole.
I do a lot, but I think
production.
like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I feel like I talk myself out of doing a lot of stuff when I'm like more than capable of doing it, and I think a lot of it has to do with a part of me saying like, oh yeah, like I don't have this and I don't have that. But I think like the bigger fear for me is just like the fear in general of like, oh man, what is it like actually executing? What's it look like actually putting in the work? Because I think it's like, it's one thing to dream about it, it's one thing to think about it, but to actually do the work that's like very tedious, for me, that's something I struggle with. But like, again, like I try not to have regrets, but I look back and I'll be like, damn, I wish I actually,
no, for real.
I wish I started sooner. I wish I just put myself out there, because I think like, especially when it comes to opportunity, like the more you put yourself out there, opportunity comes to you. Right. And I think that's the one thing that I realized is it wasn't until I started doing something, even if it was like bare minimum, like the lowest quality stuff, people started noticing. And that's when people were like, hey,
it's kind of nice. Yeah,
it's kind of nice. Hey, you know, I got a camera, or like, you know, I do directing, I do all that. So it's like, I think sometimes you got to like just throw yourself out there and understand that like where you start is just that one chapter of your journey. And
where you start is not where you're going to end.
Yeah, it's not where you're going to end. And I think for me, now that I'm a little bit more consistent in like creating stuff, looking back to like where I started is like, I'm so proud of that version of myself. Because I'm just like, yo, like, even against all odds, you created some amazing stuff without having everything. You know what I mean? So I think being able just to like put yourself out there is like so important.
And even like, I tried vlogging when I was in college. I vlogged when I did a tour of UK. And I'll go, and I still got the clips on my phone, but I'll go back and look at it. And I'm like, dang, that was so nice. I could really like went on iMovie, made that something, and put it on YouTube. So it is nice just to see kind of where you're at and like where I am now.
Yeah. Because that's the only way you can like measure your growth too. You know what I mean? Like I can look back and be like, wow, I have come a long way.
Because my TikTok is back when I started last year. Not that it was bad, but I've definitely gotten better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So for you, how do you balance like pre-med with content creation? Because I feel like those are two jobs in itself.
So I started doing TikTok a little bit during my senior year, so 2021, and I don't even know. It was more of like if I wanted to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So also that was COVID, so I didn't have as much work, and I was a senior, but I would just take time out, even if it was like 9 p.m., just do something. And TikTok at the time, or still now, but TikTok was, they're short form videos, and that was what was being pushed on the algorithm. So I'm like, yeah, girl, you can make like a 15-second little something. You just got to come up with the idea and actually, get yourself together, come up with the idea, and then shoot it. So I think as far as organization, even now I'm applying to med school too. I would set out like a day, like I treat it as a job. So if I have 9 to 5, I know I'm gonna come home after work, 5 to 7, I don't know, brainstorm, edit, film, whatever the case is. So I just think if you are an organized person as I am, maybe just set aside some time, 2 hours a day. And even with YouTube, because I will sit on a YouTube video and then I'll have to edit for 5 hours at a time. But if I were to set aside an hour each day just to edit something, that could be better and keep you more consistent on what you want to do.
We love the organization. We love.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, we love that.
So yeah, I think just setting aside some time just to do what you want and to get to where you want. Because also I'm not the best organized person. I like organization, but I'm not super consistent with it. So some days I would just be like, you know what, I need to sit down and do some pre-med stuff, which is okay. No content for like a week or so, whatever the case is. But I know where I want to get to as far as content creation, I have to set aside that time just to do it.
Yeah.
So it just takes dedication and discipline.
Making time for your dream. So
what about you, Mr. PhD?
Yo, here's the thing about PhD. Listen, I am not
not even making content about having a PhD, just making content outside of that field.
Yeah. Again, I am not the most organized. I am a free spirit through and through. Where the wind blows is where I go. 100%. So it's definitely difficult, and I think it's a matter of like, what do you prioritize? And I think sometimes I prioritize like creating more than PhD. So PhD takes a back seat in a lot of ways, and I think that's a sacrifice I have to be okay with. And I know that like for a lot of things that I'm creating, this is what I want my career to be in. Right. So like, although PhD is going to be able to open the door for me, this is essentially what I want to do with my life.
So you think the content that you're creating right now is good practice for what you want to do?
Yeah, this is 100% like building a portfolio,
right?
Figure out my niche, building an audience, building engagement, and really just trying to open up that door for myself in the future, where like going for a PhD was, for me, truthfully, I was in a space where undergrad, I don't feel like I set myself up well. When I got to my master's, I didn't really set myself well in that either, because I treated like this school mentality of like, show up, go to class, get an A, get the degree, you win. And then I think when life came after, and I realized, oh, you need like internship opportunities, you need portfolios, you need a lot of different skills that you can market. I wasn't confident in myself to be able to market because, again, I didn't start. Right. So I always would be like, oh, I want to do videos. Oh, I want to be in radio. Oh, I want to be on the talk show. But then like when I'm applying to these jobs and I'm recognizing like, oh, can you send us a reel or a portfolio or your resume? I'm looking at my resume. I'm like, oh,
I ain't got nothing.
I ain't got nothing. I ain't work towards nothing, right? So I think being in school, I know how to navigate the space well. And there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of resources that are for college students. So for me, this was like a key to not only be able to get a PhD, and not a lot of people have it, but also to be able to like create. So I'm doing this kind of like crazy balance of my program trains people to be in academics, but I want to be a creative and I want to go into more so outside the industry. So I'm doing this like wild balancing act of, all right, let me handle the school, but let me also make sure I'm doing this creative stuff. So for me, it's just this kind of, the balance is just like, what do I prioritize in the moment? What can I get done? And like, what can I be really intentional about. And I promise you, it is not
ain't
easy. It is not easy.
No.
I have days where like creative definitely takes big L's. Like, oh man, I could have made this, but I couldn't make it because I had to work on this paper. And there are times where I'm like, yo, I probably should have put a lot more effort into these papers. But that has to take an L. So I think for me, it's just like, what do you prioritize?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I believe that what I'm doing is going to open the door for where I want to go. Yeah.
Also, shout out to him who's getting his PhD. Come on now.
Said it. Thank you. We ain't there yet, but we're going to get there. Maybe
So then what made you even what made you even get the PhD? Because you mentioned like not having a portfolio. So why PhD versus like getting your master's, getting like a regular 9-to-5, and then also building your portfolio?
I think for me, it came down to, I struggle with, and this is 100% like privilege for sure. I struggle with being in spaces and working for companies that I know from the jump I'm not gonna like. And I think because I was living at home at the time and I knew that I had like that support system of being able to just go home, even though my parents were like, are you gonna work here? You gonna work here? You apply here. I just didn't feel like I needed to force myself to do something that I absolutely hate. And I also felt like it's a catch-22, right? Because you graduate and you have these dreams and you have the aspirations, but then you get this job in a company that has nothing to do with what you want to do. So the longer the time you spend there, you build skills that are specifically for that company. So I didn't want to, for me, it was like really this big thing of like, I don't want to work in a place that's not going to help me get to where I want to go. Because if I spend all this time working at a company that isn't what I want to do, I'm building skills, but I'm not getting production skills. I'm not getting Photoshop skills. I'm not getting video editing skills. So for me, it was like, I'm like slaving to not even get me to where I want to go. So the longer I stay in this company, the more I apply to other spaces, the less qualified I am.
Right.
And for me, I just couldn't sit with that. So for me, it was like, all right, what can I do? And I had a mentor who was like, yo, you can either work at a company you don't like, you can try to get experience and continue to like apply to all these different places, but not have any skills or experiences. Or you can go back to a school, a space where you know how to navigate well because you did it for your undergrad and you did it with your master's.
Right.
But now you can actually be intentional with the skills that you build in order to get you to where you want to go. So I think like for me, it was just my best option. So a lot of people be like, yo, like it's crazy that you want to be a PhD. And I was like, this was never part of the plan.
Right.
This is like circumstance and I'm making
why not a second master's and you got a PhD instead?
So truthfully, like my goal was either film school or to go to PhD. Right. The reason why I chose PhD is because I got a full scholarship. So because it was free, I didn't want to take out any loans. And I was scared that if I went for a master's or if I went, and I knew because I talked to the lady at film school, she's like, you'll get in. We can get you in. But the problem is we have no funding because it was around COVID time. Okay. So like when it came down to it, if I wasn't, life. Yeah. I didn't have the money. I didn't want to take out another loan because I had to take one out for my master's. So for me, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna jump into this PhD because it's free. I also got into the school that I went to for undergrad. I have a lot of connections. Right. So it was just like, I know how to navigate this space. So this is probably like the best shot for me to get to where I want to go.
It was because we can spend more time with you.
Yes, all my friends. Yay. Shout out to all my friends. They in the back. Y'all can't see them, but they here. One of them staring at me crazy. But yes, love you, Simone. But yeah, so this is kind of like how I got into this space. And I think just trying to make sure I'm building intentionally now is like the biggest thing.
And let me tell you one thing. Nigel, he's a networking genius. Let me tell you. You have a lot of connections. You know how to talk to people very well. So.
Yeah, I love my people. Yeah. I love my people. For you though, how do you? Because I remember you were going through this process of like studying and trying to create and application processes and all that. So like, how did you handle that? Because I do know there's a lot of medical students. You know what I mean? Who are like in that process right now. Yeah. But they also want to do things outside of med school. So like, how did you balance?
Well, let me tell you, I'm still applying. I'm still waiting on a lot of different things. But when I first applied, that was a year ago. Okay, so MCAT. That's when I first started my YouTube channel, and I like told everyone I was switching from. I had a second Instagram page, which was Page and Dr. Jones. I didn't really like the direction it was going in, and I still have the page if you still want to go follow it. But I thought YouTube was a better direction. Also, again, I wanted to do it in the first place. And then that's when I started MCAT studying, and I didn't realize how much studying that was.
Which is an insane time to start something too. Like,
I know, and I didn't think about it that much, but I was like, you know what, I could look back and I can document me studying, so I can go back and look at it like, dang, you know, I was grinding, I was doing whatever.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd just be just good just to document, just for anyone just to see it myself. But I could not handle that, TikTok, and MCAT study. So I put YouTube on the back burner. I was kind of on TikTok a little bit. I hadn't really found my like niche yet, so I was kind of posting whatever I wanted. But MCAT kind of took up the majority of my study, and also like just having a social life, take care of myself, whatever. So it was a lot to juggle. So like you said before, like just putting things on the back burner and prioritizing what I need. And then it wasn't really until I took my MCAT, which was literally like a year ago. Took it on the 21st. That's when I was like, okay, I took a little break. So now I was kind of pick it back up. Applying for med school wasn't as bad because you're not doing stuff every single day. So like finding my recommendation letters, like I talk to people, which is only 5 minutes out of my day, just to email somebody, get the stuff together. The only thing that really kind of got me was working more so I could afford to pay for, you know, the applications and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But luckily the job that I had at the time, so I mean, if anyone who's pre-med or whatever professional school you want to go to, if you're watching, I had a job that allowed me to go there. I could make the money, but we had a lot of downtime, so I could still edit and do whatever I wanted, and I could still like apply for med school, write my essays and stuff like that. So I had a good balance with the job that I had. So thank God, because I don't know what I would have did.
How did you take care of yourself during that time? Because I know like that's
MCAT
a lot of
MCAT?
MCAT for sure. But cap.
No, I didn't.
Yo, it's like
If we want to go back on my Snapchat,
it was that bad.
it was that bad. No, for real. And you know how Snapchat does the memories and stuff?
Yeah.
It was one the other day. I was boohoo crying in the
It's not funny. It's not.
It's not funny, but I was boohoo crying in the car. Like and the MCAT really took a lot out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even really like talking about it because, you know, I didn't like it. Anyway, but yeah, that's it. I didn't handle it well. I didn't take care of myself.
But you made it through.
I did make it through, thank God.
And then how'd you take care of yourself?
Literally, what was it? The day I took my MCAT was my roommate's birthday. So that night, I took the MCAT like 7 a.m. or whatever it was at the report for the time to get there.
Yeah.
And then I got out at like 4 p.m. And then I had to go run and get my roommate's balloons and I had to come back. And so we had a surprise party. So, I mean,
Lit.
it was, my friend was here, you know, we had a little libations or whatever. So it was cool. So I got to be around people that I know and love. So that was cool. And then after that, I think we went on a trip to Atlanta. That was cool. So I was just trying to live life. Just, do stuff that I didn't get to do during the time. But yeah.
No,
but I still hung out with you because I went to your birthday stuff. That was really nice time for me to like take a break. Yeah. And then I went home. So like I had breaks here and there, but as far as like what I'm doing now, not as much free time. Yeah. But I also tried to alleviate as much work as possible. So like my hair, I got braids. Yeah. So I didn't have to worry about twisting my hair, doing whatever. So like I tried to keep a protective style every single day. And food wise, I was eating bad, but like I had food here that I could like cook really easily. My boyfriend was checking on me, my roommate was checking on me. So I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I did the best that I could.
I think it's hard though. You know what I mean?
It was my first time moving out. I don't know if you know, but I had never moved out.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so this is my first apartment. First time having like a real kind of job, my own money, like manage my money and stuff like that. So I was juggling a lot and I did well, but just making sure.
Exceptionally well.
Thank you. I did well doing that. And just not giving up and being like, no, I want to go back home and like whatever. So I did.
You did that. You did that. See, I think this is where it's like, even when it comes to life, content, school, whatever, like sometimes we got to redefine success. Yeah. Because like the initial thing is like, oh man, I did terrible. Like I didn't do. But then when you like really pay attention to like all the stuff that you had to handle in, like in that moment, like you actually did like a lot better than you think.
And then even when I was applying to med school, so I had an interview, and so one of the questions, my MCAT score wasn't the best. It was alright because I still applied. And one of the questions was like, you know, we see your MCAT score. That's like a red flag for us. Like, tell us more about that. And I think I answered the question really, really well because I was like, you know, I can accept my faults and what was going on, but I was also juggling this. Not that that's an excuse, but I did the best that I could. Yeah. And I know that I'm confident in myself and what I achieved, even beyond this period of me studying for MCAT or whatever. Like even past me, what I did then can make up for, you know, whatever fault I had in my MCAT score. And it still makes me a better applicant than whoever else you're interviewing.
Yeah.
And I was confident in that. And the girl liked my answer. So, you know.
Fire.
You know, just being confident in what I did and again, not having regret. I think that's the biggest thing because if this like sophomore me, I was in shambles, but like I would have really been like kicking my butt about it, and I probably wouldn't have even applied. So
like, how do you feel like you've grown from that, from all of what you experienced?
I'm more
the person you are
mature.
now?
I feel like I'm still hard on myself, but not as much to where like it's a detriment to my health.
Yeah.
If that was again me back in college, I probably wouldn't eat. I wouldn't be taking care of myself. I wouldn't see nobody. I would just, I don't know. I would just be in a bad space. So, especially because MCAT is just so important. So, again, just owning up to what I did, moving on. And had I not done so well in college, I probably would have been in a different position. But I know what I did, even grades, extracurriculars.
You did a lot.
I did a lot and I did good. So I know like my portfolio was all cohesive and it was great for me to apply.
For sure.
And again, I'm still confident in what I did and how I apply and stuff. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's how I feel like, huh?
Yeah, talk your talk, hey.
Talk my
Talk
ish, you
your
know what I mean?
talk,
So
come on.
yeah. So no, I mean, truly, I do feel like
whatever
whatever MCAT score I got, like I don't really care. Like I'm a great applicant and I'll be great in any medical
experience. Yeah. Hey, I promise you, like anybody who gives you the opportunity, you're gonna rock at it and you're gonna like take it to that next level. So it's I think like that's the mentality for real.
Yeah.
It's just like
in all the schools I applied to, because I tried to have a theme with my application. So the theme that I had correlated with the schools that I applied to. So that was also a great talking point for me during my interviews.
Ooh. What do you mean by theme?
This is something that's kind of new. I saw someone else do it, so I kind of went off of that. But like my theme, like, let me think. So like my theme was like community building and just being within a group. So
Gotcha.
UGP, even manners, K Week, everything was built on community. So UGP was building a social community through diversity. K Week was bringing people who were first year students, transfer students, making a community to make sure they feel welcome within the bigger community, which was UK. Manners was getting minorities in agriculture into a space to where they can grow in a professional setting. Like, everything just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
So, and even like when I was a tutor, having that space for someone, even minority students who was Black, being a tutor and helping them so they can navigate in the pre-med medical world. Like, everything just made sense. And so I kind of had a theme. Some things weren't like necessarily together, but like it was on things. So I feel like the schools I applied to, they were all big on community, helping people, working together, and being on the same level, which also can correlate when you become a doctor, because a doctor is the leader of a team. So
like, what's the end goal for you? Like, you get in, graduate, you do all the stuff with your content. Like, where do you want to see yourself go? Like,
so my dream, I wouldn't even say like what I want to do. So my interest dermatology, also OBGYN, don't know which one yet, but both are really interesting to me. But my interests do change with whatever's going on. But of course, be a physician, get my MD, and then my end goal is to have my own practice, whatever that is. And I want my practice to be just be full of people who are underserved communities, minorities, whatever the case is. Not that I can't have anyone who's white in there, but I just hope to build a practice where whatever city I'm in, people know like you can come here and you can feel safe. Yeah. You can have that great patient, physician, nurse, whatever the case is, interaction, build a relationship, and you have trust in medicine, because I feel like minorities have lost that trust in medicine over the years. So I hope that the city I'm in, they can trust us. They know where we are, like, know, and they can tell their friends, tell their family. And then we also, like, I love, like, my mom's OBGYN is now my OBGYN. So I'm going to have that type of generational, I don't know, existence, relation, whatever the case is. So yeah, that's my end goal.
That's fire.
And it makes me happy. So I
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm excited too, because I think like in the future, like when we're all further established and like in our careers and what we want to do, like we're gonna have to run this back and then like put this part of the clip in there and be like, You remember what you said? And then
And I'm here.
that manifestation's crazy.
I know. So it's gonna happen. And then like even derm, OBGYN, whatever I do, like my friends always like, oh, I want you to deliver my babies. Like I feel like that's really cool because again, we've all lost, or not we all, but a few of us have lost trust in the medical community.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I feel like just being that person that they can go to wherever they are, they want to come to me because they trust me. And that's really important. So
So let's say like right now there's somebody, a young girl who wants to aspire to be exactly where you are right now.
yeah.
Like she's dreaming, she's praying on it, she's hoping to be in this place. What advice would you tell her?
Ooh, Chile. Ooh, I would probably tell her or him. Let's say him.
Or him, yeah, or him.
I would probably say, take care of yourself, remember your dream, and then just keep going, no matter where you at. Because I feel like UK especially, just because the space I was in just had a lot of people who didn't look like me. I kind of intimidated, imposter syndrome, that whole thing. But just stay true to who you are. You know what dreams you want, so just keep pushing. Because I knew what I wanted to, what my end goal was. And so no matter where I was at, no matter what grade I got, no matter who tried to make me feel bad because of who they knew or like whatever money they had, I knew what I was capable of. And I don't need no distractions or anybody being in my way. So.
Haley.
No, for real. That's probably what I would. And also, again, take care of yourself. So, yeah.
And then where can people find you? Well, you got to plug yourself real quick for the one time.
I know. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the ad names is Call Me Haley J, Haley Haley, and then just the J. And then also YouTube, if not the ad name, the actual name is just Haley J. So that's where you can find me. And I am a pre-med student who also is just into beauty, lifestyle content. So, go check me out.
Haley, appreciate you for being on the convo.
Of course. Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you. And everybody, appreciate y'all watching for another episode. We're going to be back. More conversations, more real people. Peace and love, everybody. Bye.
Bye.